My name is Irina Fiegenbaum. I'm working at TÜV Nord Group in Germany. My position is officially called Senior Manager Digitalisation and Innovation. And I've been attending ISPIM since my pre-doctoral studies, which was 2009. So it's already a habit to come to ISPIM in June and get inspired for the next year. Yeah, by accident, first of all, looking for a thing to study for my master's times. So I did my master thesis on technology management and innovation management, got dragged into the open innovation field and started my PhD directly at the university where I did my master thesis. That was many, many years ago. And as I said, like 10 years with ISPIM already, been a wonderful journey. And my formal education in innovation management finished in 2011, I think, when I did my, I can't remember anymore. Yeah, 2011 when I defended my doctoral degree in innovation management. And since then I'm been researching and then practicing innovation. Well, I think the competence and skill sets are actually changing from year to year a little bit, and also depending on exact sub-role of the innovation manager. I noticed that innovation management is quite a big field, and if you look at the innovation process as a whole, you might see people focusing either on an ideation process a bit more, or an implementation of innovation projects a bit more, or on actually launching and scaling up. I believe that there is a different skill set necessary for the different specialization fields. But if you think about the innovation manager as a whole, as somebody who orchestrates and facilitates the process, it's a big picture. It's a big picture of what you need to see. It's a skill of being able to embrace this all, seeing what happens in the very front end, in the big fuzzy front end, and how to actually lead the whole process from there up to the market, to the successful market entry, to the scaling of the market. So many, many different skills which you might need to switch during the innovation process stages, or which you might even see represented by different people inside the innovation team. Well, we're dealing with a very interesting issue, which is centralizing innovation process back. We're a big group. We have different divisions, different business units, and each business unit has their own innovation process. And very often they are not transparent, they're not aligned, and what we are trying to do now is to actually bring the transparency into the unified innovation process to make sure that we are all going in the same direction, that we don't duplicate the things which we are doing. And this is a really big issue at the moment, with which we're struggling to actually, in a huge organization, to make sure that nothing is getting lost, that we can reuse the best practices, that we can reuse the results of innovation projects and lessons learned out of them into applying them again in innovation management. So I deal on a daily basis with a lot of processes which we have to establish in order to make this happen. You mean in my organization or globally? So in the 5 years, well, I do believe that the problem of aligning the innovation efforts inside the company will be solved by then. What we will be solving in 5 years is probably aligning a little bit in the direction of new innovation management ISO standards. I believe this is a really important guiding document, which is going to be pretty soon published, released, and where we can all get also inspiration on how the organizational process is going to be working. So I see us doing that. And another thing which we are going to be working in the future is looking more into the foresight, looking more into how innovation, inspiration comes from different technological weak signals in the market, how to make most use out of this process. And it's going to be on the agenda for next few years, because this is a very complicated process. The new innovation managers, they're entering in a very interesting time. They're entering in a time where you need to both be able to combine the business knowledge with the technological knowledge. Innovation is not anymore possible without a digital component. And the digital component requires very often to understand at least some kind of technology, to have at least some kind of IT background. So my honest desire would be to go a little bit back in time and do some, I don't know, data science degree or something which actually makes the skill set, or gives a skill set to be able to go deeper and understand deeper the processes of all the startups which are disrupting my industry. So the advice to the future innovation managers would be find the specialization which is outside of innovation management and combine it with the business knowledge, combine it with the innovation soft skills, management theorist knowledge, and specialize in some technological field which can bring the added value. The ISPIM journey started for me when I just started my doctoral studies. So of course, first couple of years was feedback, a lot of feedback from peers, inspiration, learning a lot from the more experienced colleagues. The next 2 years was my postdoc time when I was more looking for the project partners. We created a few wonderful consortia for the European projects while I was working at university still. Looking for the collaboration partners for the new research. This was the time, this few years in between. I spent, I think 1 or 2 years inside ISPIM itself, so also co-organizing 1 or 2 events. It was also a lot of fun, and 2 years ago I moved into the corporate world, and now I'm coming as basically as a business, as a B of ABC, and this is a very interesting experience. I'm getting completely new perspective. I'm seeing the same things I've been seeing in the last 10 years with completely new eyes, and trying to see, okay, how can I actually implement the things which people are talking here into my day-to-day business.